What's up everyone, welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, we really appreciate it. If you like what we do here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to be notified every time we upload a new video. So, in today's video, I'm going to be going through my physical romance book collection. So, I put out a thing on Instagram to ask people if this is something they would be interested in, and 100% of people voted yes. So, I thought, okay, I'll make the video. So I have quite a few of them here, and some of them I've read, most of them I haven't read yet. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling you what they're about. I'll try to do like a one sentence kind of thing, just to give you like a quick thing of what it's about, but it would take me forever to go through all of them. So, without further ado, let's just get into the video. Alright, so I'm going to start with my Penelope Douglas collection. So I have Punk 57, which is a book that I said I would never read. It's a bully romance, which I don't think that I'm into. So you might be asking, like, why do you have this? Well, first of all, I've never read one, so I don't know. But given, like, what it's kind of, like, what they tend to kind of be about, I don't really think that it's something I'm going to be into. But everybody talks highly of this. Even, I went to my independent bookstore yesterday, and the lady checking me out was like, yeah, we can't keep this book in stock, and I really wanted to read it. And I was like, are you sure you're talking about this one? And she was like, yeah, and I was like, okay. So yeah, I figured I would give it a try. It's basically about two people who are pen pals, and then they end up meeting in real life. That's kind of what it's about. Alright, so continuing on with my Penelope Douglas collection, I have Credence by Penelope Douglas. And this one I think I have a higher chance of being into. Again, I don't know much about this. I just know that people really love it. I know that it has something to do with a girl moving in with, like, her brother's stepdad or something. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. Again, I'm just giving you guys quick things, because some of these I don't know anything about. I just know that you all told me to read it, so I was like, okay, I'll read it. It also has something to do with motocross in it, and I grew up racing motocross. I still watch motocross. I still go to motocross races. So yeah, I thought it was something that I would be into. If you've read it, let me know how you liked it. I'll probably do a reading vlog of some of these because a lot of people really like them. But yeah, I have Credence by Penelope Douglas. Alright, so the next book I have by Penelope Douglas is... I don't even know how to say the name of this, honestly. And I don't want to mess it up. But like, look how thick this is. It's a huge book. I did not expect it to be this big. But I saw this on Jamie's Library, which is another YouTube channel. You should go check her out. She's awesome. So this is Penelope Douglas' Sapphic Romance. So I thought we literally have like 0 Sapphic romances like this that are like mainstream. Like I have a ton on Kindle that I've read, but not any that are like mainstream places. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I actually have no idea what this is about. I literally was just told it's Sapphic and it's a popular romance, so I was like, okay, I'll buy it. And it's by Penelope Douglas, which people really love, so I actually have no clue what this is about. I should mention that the only like romances that I've included here are not like fantasy romances as well. That's like that could be like a whole different video, but I basically tried to pick out my adult romances that would be in the romance section at Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, wherever you shop. And all of them are adult books, so I don't have any young adult books included either. So yeah. Alright, so moving from Penelope Douglas, let's talk about my Colleen Hoover collection, which one day I hope to own all of her books, but I know some of them are like really hard to get in physical copy. So I'll talk about the ones I have in physical copy so far. Okay, so the first book I have here is actually my current read by Colleen Hoover. It's called Heartbones. This is basically, you know, so what I understand about this, I haven't started it yet, but it is the book I'm going to read next. I'm doing a buddy read with a friend. But from what I understand about this book, it's about a girl who knows nothing about her dad, or very little about her dad, and she has to suddenly move and live with him, I think on like a ranch in Texas or something like that. And then of course there's like a boy next door or something. But I'll only say this once as I go through Colleen Hoover's books. Colleen Hoover writes about romance, but she writes about everything else that we bring to a relationship. All of our trauma, our baggage, our likes, our dislikes, all our communication problems. Like, it's really about everything else that's in a romance than the actual romance itself, which I did not expect. I thought this was going to be, I thought her books were going to be like trashy romance, which I have no issue with, as you can see. But yeah, there's so much more than that, so I definitely really recommend her, and I plan to read all of her books at some point, like I said. But yeah, this is my current read, Heartbones, so I'll let you all know how it is. So the next book that I have here, I actually just read recently, and that's It Ends With Us. I gave this 6 stars. Yes, 6. I only give out a few 6-star reviews a year. I just did a wrap-up. We just did a wrap-up on our channel if you want to check out more thoughts about this. But I love this book. This follows our main character, Lily, who is... It's basically her going between the past and the present, a boy she knew in the past and a man that she's met in the present. And I will say the author's note in this is super important. Please make sure you read that after you read this book. But a spoiler-free note about It Ends With Us is that Colleen Hoover wrote this book. She says it herself in the author's note. She didn't write this book for entertainment. She wrote it for education. There are a ton of triggers in this, like truly triggers in this. So just make sure if that's something that you're worried about that you check out the trigger warnings. But what's done really well in It Ends With Us is truly a look at how our past affects our present, especially in terms of relationships and otherwise. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Again, I gave it 6 stars. Another Colleen Hoover book that I read recently, I gave this one 5 stars, is Ugly Love. Again, this is going between the past and the present, which I'm realizing something Colleen Hoover does really well. And I absolutely love. But basically this follows our main character, Tate, who moves in with her brother. She's having a hard time in life, and her brother offers to let her stay with him, and so she does. And he's an airline pilot, and his coworker, who's also a pilot, Miles, lives across the hall. And you can guess what happens from there. But again, this is about so much more than romance. It's about everything else. Like, I loved this book so much. I gave it 5 stars, and I highly recommend it. A Colleen Hoover book that I have yet to read is November 9. I don't know much about this book. I just know that this is most people's favorite Colleen Hoover book. I know that that varies between all the ones I'm talking about here today, but this is probably the one that I've seen people say the most often is their favorite. But only thing I know about this is that these two people throughout life have met every day on November 9th, and I think like one day the guy doesn't show up. I could be completely wrong about this because, as you can see, I try to know as limited amount about the book before I go in because I hate any kind of spoilers. I want to know like as little as possible. But yeah, I'll probably be reading this soon, so I'll let you all know how I like it, but it's definitely promising just because it's a Colleen Hoover book. Also, yesterday at my independent bookstore, this is actually one that I didn't think I was going to read, and I'll tell you why. It's because I read what it was about, and it seems like there's some sort of tragic accident, and I just don't know that I'm into that trope. I actually try to avoid that trope just because it usually comes with a lot of sadness, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just wasn't sure if that was going to be something for me. This is another one that I hear people say a lot that they really love, and so I really wanted to support my indie bookstore, and they had it, so I bought it. I know it follows like 2 main characters, like a mom and a daughter, and I guess they're separate relationships with people. I really don't know. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. At this point, I would read anything Colleen Hoover writes. I've pre-ordered her next book that doesn't come out until the spring. So yeah, this is also part of my collection. This is actually the last Colleen Hoover book that I own. I own her thriller, Variety, I think is how you say it. But that one's not classified as romance, so I didn't include it in this video. Next, I have my Emily Henry books, which I have beach read. This is the one that I haven't read yet. I know people like really hate on this book because it's called beach read, but it actually takes place at a lake. And I actually love the like lake house, vacation, cabin, whatever trope. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I know people really love it. I read that some people were let down because they thought it takes place at a beach, which I can understand why. But also the word beach doesn't just mean like ocean. It can mean like obviously like lake. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and I'll let you guys know how I like it. Next in my Emily Henry collection is my only other book. I think this is the only other book that she's published so far. Is People We Meet on Vacation, and I actually read this recently. I gave it 4 stars, I think. I don't think it was a 5-star read. I think it was like a 4.5 star read. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It basically follows 2 main characters, Poppy and Alex, who they meet in college, and every year they go on vacation together. And this is basically the story about how they went on vacation every year for like 10 years or more, as friends, like going back and forth between their lives and what's going on in each other's lives. And then one year, something happens, you don't know what until the end, and they never talk again for like 2 years. And then finally, they talk to each other. This is not spoilers, this is all on the back of the book. But yeah, it's really about finding out what happened on that one vacation that really led them to not being friends anymore, and then what it means for their future. And it's obviously a romance novel. It's pitched as a romance novel, so I'll let you figure out what that means. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think because of the setting, I will like beach read more. One of my complaints about this one was that I felt like there were some parts in the middle that were really slow and just didn't matter to the story. But yeah, overall, I think this is really good. It was really well done. Okay, so I actually only have one of these, but it's from Book of the Month, and her other two books are on Book of the Month, and I might get them this next coming month, because I'm not sure how long they stay on Book of the Month. But yeah, I have The Kiss Quotient. I know people really love this, and they love The Bride Test, and her newest one, The Heart Principle, I think it's called. I might be wrong, but I think that's it. Yeah, this has autism rep, which I'm really interested in, and yeah, I think this basically follows a main female who, she has autism, and she's like really into analytical things, but she's never had sex before, and so I think she hires an escort, like this guy, and then I'm assuming they fall in love after, but I actually have no idea. But yeah, at first I didn't want to read this, and then I really wanted to read it, and then I didn't want to read it again, and then when The Heart Principle came out and everybody was talking about it, I was like, okay, I'll just get in my book a month, and I'll see how I like it before I get the other ones. But I'll probably end up getting the other ones anyways, because I've been on a huge romance kick. I actually plan, after I read all of these, to do a tier ranking, like a suggestions, a recommending, guides. Like, I have all kinds of plans for videos as far as romance books go. Romance books were actually some of the first books that I read and loved, which is surprising, but also not surprising for me and my personality. Yeah, it's just my other big genre. Okay, so next I'll talk about my Christina Lauren collection. So the first book I have here is their newest one. So Christina Lauren, one's name is Christina, one's name is Lauren. They're a romance writing duo. And this is kind of, I think, sci-fi like there's an app or something that's developed, and it will tell you like your chemistry match with people, like to a T, like mathematically. And I believe I saw something recently that this has single mom in it, single mom rep, which is something I'm really interested in because I was raised by a single mom. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I believe that the main character of this, her highest match is with the creator of the company or the CEO of the company. Again, I could be completely wrong because I try not to look too much into these, except for like a very basic idea if I will like it or not. Yeah. My next Christina Lauren book is Love in Other Words. This is probably the one that I see the most people raving about, and the next one that I'm going to show you. But I bought this one because I believe it has like a lake cabin house thing part of the story. I don't know, that's like a trope that I really like, and I could be completely wrong. But I know that it's something about meeting every summer and people falling in love. Guys, I really probably should read the back of more of these, but I will let you all know how I like Christina Lauren as a duo and how I like this book. I'm definitely really looking forward to this one. Actually, just came in the mail yesterday. And then finally, I figured 3 is a good place to start before I buy any more. I have The Unhoneymooners. This is a recent one that people are talking about all over the place. I do know what this one's about. It's about 2 people who go to a wedding and they hate each other. They're not, maybe they're part of the same friend circle or something, but they're enemies. And everybody at the wedding gets sick because of like food poisoning or something in the food, and these 2 people of course didn't eat the food, and now the couple that got married, they have booked their honeymoon and everything, but they can't go because they're so sick. So these 2 people go, and I have no idea what happens, but I can imagine what happens, and I kind of love the friends to lovers trope, so I bet this is going to have some comedy, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I'll probably read it soon before summer is completely out, but like who knows, because I'm such a mood reader, so it's hard to tell. That's my Christina Lauren collection. And the next book that I'm going to talk about here, I actually have in hardback, and it's mostly only available in paperback, but you people out on the internet and readers of the world went and bought like all the paperbacks from everywhere. I could not find it literally anywhere, but for some reason there was the hardback of it, and it happened one summer. This is probably my most anticipated romance that I'm going to read coming up because of the setting. And then also, it's supposed to be kind of like Schitt's Creek, which I haven't watched, but I want to now. Go figure. these things become my whole personality. But, I like the whole trope of, like, this girl, she comes from a city, like, really wealthy, and she goes to, like, this, town, I think in Maine, and I just love the setting that they described. If you haven't figured out, like, vacation spot settings, lakes, cabins, I don't know, something about it I really enjoy. But yeah, so it's, they hate each other at first, it's enemies to lovers, so yeah. I'm really, really looking forward to this. I'll probably definitely vlog my experience with this because I've been looking forward to it so much. But yeah, it happened one time. This next one here, I wasn't actually sure if I should include in this video because I was listening to a podcast recently and they said that they wouldn't really consider this to be romance, but it's in the romance section, so I figured I would include it, and it's Sapphic, and as you can see, we don't have many of those. But it is Honey Girl. I know that this is about these two girls who meet in Las Vegas and they suddenly get married overnight, drunken, get married. So yeah, I'm interested to see where that takes them, if they actually stay married or if they choose to end the marriage, because you can do that within like a certain amount of days. But anyway, I heard that it's mostly about our main character and her life and kind of her going through like this life crisis. So I'm really interested to see how that mixes with romance. Kind of reminds me of what Colleen Hoover does. So yeah, we'll see. I'm really looking forward to it. It's Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. So the next book I have here, I read this summer, called Written in the Stars. This is a Sapphic rom-com, and it actually just got approved for the arc of the third book. You don't have to read them like in order. In fact, I'm skipping the second book because it's a heterosexual relationship and I'm just like not interested in it because I don't really like the character that it's based off of from this universe. I mean, I do, but I don't really care about his love story. Like, I liked him as a character, but I just don't really care about his love story. So, I will be reading the third one because I got an arc of it, and that one is Sapphic, so I'm really looking forward to that. Basically, it's about these two people, Darcy, who is all into, like, horoscopes, and she just started, like, a dating app based off horoscopes, and the other love interest, her brother, and Darcy, run the company together, and it's a fake dating trope. Like, they start dating because everybody in their families are, like, just pushing them to get married and move on with life. And so they start a fake dating trope just to appease their family. And it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. The only reason I didn't give it 5 is because I wanted it to be more steamy, and it wasn't. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be. But yeah, I really enjoyed it overall, and I really recommend it if you like Sapphic Romance. And last up, probably some of the most popular that I have here are from Casey McQueston. I have Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is a male-male romance about, it's like a kind of a political thing where, like, I think this guy's like the prince of something and the other guy's like the son of the president of the US or something. I don't know. I think it's an enemies to lovers as well. I'm really excited to read this because people really enjoyed it, but I haven't read it yet, so we'll see. I'll probably read it around Valentine's Day because that's when, like, everybody recommends it. Although I don't know if I'll actually wait that long. And then lastly, also by Casey McQueston, I have One Last Stop. And I actually DNF'd this recently, not permanently. I've talked a lot about it on the channel. There are several videos about it actually, a whole reading vlog. I just was not invested in the characters the way I wanted it to be, even though it's Sapphic. But yeah, this is a Sapphic romance. The last one was male-male romance. This one's Sapphic. It's like a time-traveling romance where one of the main characters is stuck on a subway train, like in time, and they have to figure out what's going on, how she got stuck there, and how to get her off. And I wasn't invested in the story and the characters at the time, but I'm sure it's something that I'll come back to and enjoy. I think I'm just gonna have to be in a certain mood for it. But yeah, that's my whole romance collection, the ones I've read, the ones I haven't read, and I hope to get to most of these soon and do some extra videos for you all. So let me know down below if there's something specific that you would like. I plan to do some tier rankings, some recommendations, some if you like this, then you should read this, some guides to like Colleen Hoover, Penelope Douglas, that kind of thing, Christina Lauren, recommendations. So yeah, let me know if there's anything out there particular that you want to see. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.